Good afternoon. Welcome to session 4 of the first IHF Live Online Symposium. My name is Courtney Gahan and I am the moderator for this first lecture in part of session 4. To begin, I will outline the translation options we have available for those joining us on Zoom. We have French, Spanish, Arabic, and Russian translation available today. You can find these options at the bottom of your screen by clicking the globe icon and choosing the label for your language. Please note that Arabic translation is available under the label Chinese. This first IHF Live Online Symposium forms part of the virtual academy recently launched by the IHF to facilitate global online learning and licensing opportunities. All of this falls under the umbrella of the IHF Education Center, available at ihfeducation.ihf.info. This symposium comprises a total of 20 lectures presented by top handball experts from around the world. This afternoon's lecture is presented by Chairman of the Playing Rules and Referee Commission, Ramón Gallego, and Chairman of the Commission for Coaching and Methods, Dietrich Späte. Please feel free to ask questions throughout this lecture and we will stop at the end to address as many as possible. And please also note that this is being recorded, so you will be able to access it later on the IHF Education Center and on our Facebook page. Now, I hope everyone is awake because I know that Dietrich and Ramón have a question for you straight away. So I hope everyone's ready. And Dietrich and Ramón, we are ready to begin.
Thank you, Courtney. Dear humble friends, welcome to this online seminar inside the IHF Symposium. As you know, in the last year, both commissions, the Coaches Commission and the Referee Commission in IHF, we are working together very close, taking care of the development of handball, development of the rules, development of our matches. Just working together how we can offer a better handball, more attractive handball worldwide. And one of the topics that we are more concerned about is the target of the online seminar today. As you see in the title, Provocations and Overreactions, or it means simulation or exaggeration of the actions. The photo is a good representation of this problem, of this problematic, because really just looking the photo is difficult to decide who is the guilty, the defender or the attacker, who is the attacker, who is the defender. Right? I think that all the actors in handball, we think that all the actors are responsible of this situation. Players, because they are role models for many thousands, hundreds of thousands young boys and girls playing handball. Also the referees, also the coaches. All of us, we are responsible to reduce first and to delete later this kind of action that provoke many mistakes and provoke that the work of the referees are much more difficult. I don't know, Dietrich, what do you think?
Okay, yeah, we want to start a little bit different today. Before we start our presentation, we have a question to all participants. Please have a look to the following really short video and give us a feedback. You can use the chat function, only a small information. What is your decision in this situation? How should the referees decide now? That is, Ramón will show you the video clip.
Yes, please. I show you again, and then you can realize the situation.
Then it's a little bit more easier.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it is half a second time for the referees to decide. So make a short note. What is your decision?
So far, we just have one person brave enough to give their decision. They say 2 minutes. Someone else says red card.
Against?
Someone else says red
which
card.
Player?
No one is specifying, so I assume most are saying against the defender. Oh no, someone has said 2 minutes against the attacker.
Oh.
Most seem to be Someone says 2 minutes against the defender. Someone says red card against defender.
Yes.
2 minutes for overreaction for the attacker. And someone says also penalize the attacker for overreacting.
So it's interesting. We have different opinions. And this is the reality in such critical situations.
Someone asked to see the video one more time.
Yeah, we will do it.
Yes.
We will do it. Okay, maybe it's enough, but you see, we received a lot of different decisions, different opinions. And now you can understand why the job of the referees is so difficult. So now have a look again and a closer look to this scene. I will explain a little bit the tactical background. So at first you'll see a crossing between the left back and the center back without the ball, a very well-known tactical mean in today's top handball. And then immediately the right half defender tries to block the pass, and the right back in possession of the ball, immediately he reacts, goes in a one-on-one action. And now, and this is important, the left back is coming with high speed, Here you see the possibilities for the field and the goal referee to observe the situation. And then this happened, but you will see it much more. Oh, Ramón, what do you think? What you have seen?
Really? Really, for sure. I think we agree, all of us, that this situation is very, very difficult for the referees, even more than in a normal life. And then first, the position of the referees could be that we are working with our referees about the position of movements. They know, IHF referees, they know that in modern handball, static positions are not allowed for the field referee. It could be constantly moving depending on the tactical of the attacker and the defender team. And second, even sometimes we realize that with 2 referees could be in top matches, could be not enough, because as Dietrich told to you, who has the best possibility to see this action? The best possibility is for the coach or the defender team. And then maybe in the future, when we are planning to make a test with 3 referees, and even today you can see that some of the top couples in some moments, depend on the tactic, the position, they are in this position between 6 and 9 meters close to the sideline, depending of what is the problem in this area, right? So this could be for the future. In any case, the situation is really very difficult for the referees, and it's clear that the overreaction, the provocation of the attacker is the only responsible. And the IHF referees, they have, I repeat to you later, clear instruction to punish this action from the very beginning of the match.
So now going back to our presentation.
Yes.
So again, you see here the situation. It is clear an unsportsmanlike action from the attacker, number 46. Referees gave the red card against the wrong player. And also this is possible that a wrong decision can affect the entire game. I was present in this match. This is also interesting to know. And my position was around 40 meters away in this arena. And clear, it is difficult to decide and to observe. And also my first reaction was, oh my God, that was a big foul from the defender. So this is really, really difficult to observe and to decide in around half a second. The question is this really a part of our game? We will give you an answer about our opinions later on at the end of this presentation. But this is the big question through the whole presentation. Again, maybe Ramón, you can explain a little bit correction for, especially for the field referee. He's in the moment not in a good position.
Exactly. The field referee is far away of the situation. Exactly from this position, he cannot do anything because he cannot see the situation what happened. For the goal referee, not easy. It looks like here he can do something, but many times he must take care of the pivots and what happened around him. So it's difficult for him to put one eye here and one eye here. Also, it's really, really difficult. So the advice is for the referees, for the field referee, moving constantly, take the position where we have a problem, and then I repeat you again, then maybe in the future, the third referee could be the solution. The position of the third referee, Dietrich, should be here, exactly, where very close to the coach.
Yeah. But that is the future. You know, we will have a second presentation about game and rule development, and sure we will discuss this possibility for the future.
For sure.
Yes, of course. So now we are coming to our presentation. I want to give you a short overview what we want to present today. At first, a short explanation. What do we mean with overreaction and provocation? Then second, then we will analyze different so-called standard situations in which such fake actions are often used by the players. And in the third chapter, then we will explain IHF guidelines for the referees, how they should decide in such situations, how the line through the entire game. And at the end, maybe after a short summary, we have to discuss again this crucial question: do we really want to have such actions in our game? Who is responsible? What can we do?
Correct.
Explanation. Ramón, that is yours.
Yes, because please don't think that Dietrich and Ramón, they are a little bit crazy and they are inventing something, right? Could be we are a little bit crazy, but no, we are not inventing anything. Because the rule, this rule 87D is written from many years ago. I want to, this is a summary, what is written here, exaggerating the impact of an action. The goal, the target is to provoke an undeserved punishment. But this is sadly, this is a summary of what is written in this book, in my book, is here, in your book. And then Dietrich, go to the next. Just through theater. No, that's not, just to read the last sentence of the last slide. Right? Through, this is important, through theater. Some players trying to mislead or to fake or to cheat the referees. From our point of view, what happens if a player, a good actor, fake or cheat to the referees? Not really, not this. He is cheating all handball. He is cheating his teammate. He is cheating the opponent. He's faking, he's destroying handball with this action, not against the referees. We are human beings, our referees have mistakes. What's the problem? This is not a problem. The problem is when, because of this action, really is so difficult to take the correct decision. So rule 87D, all our comments in the rest of the seminar is written in this rule. And you know, historically, from time to time, many years ago, we can see some actions that when not clear if this is a real foul or not. Okay, from time to time, that's possible. But in the last 2, 3, 4 years, worldwide, in all continents, in all kind of competition, we have discovered that this negative tendency is growing and growing and growing. And then we think, in IHF, both commissions, we think that it's time to explain to all the world the problem and with the cooperation of all the actors, first to reduce the situation and later to delete these situations. Because it's not nice that some punishment from the referee to some player are really provoked for coming because of the provocation of the opponents. cannot be nice. And second, Dietrich, you can explain better, because from my side, I'm not the best in technique and tactic, but I think that this is not casual, that this is well trained.
Yes, of course. Yeah. The problem is for the decision making of our referees, the players now better and better in provocations. They do it with a perfect technique. And also timing, you could saw it in this scene. It's a perfect timing. In the right moment, he is falling down dramatically. And also sometimes if it hurts or whatever, they are doing this. Of course, the goal is to provoke at the end punishments. And that is an advantage for the team. So sometimes, sure, it is well trained. We have specialists for this. And we will show you in the following moments a lot of examples. But one important remark on the following videos we have selected are only examples. We don't want to discuss specific players or teams or whatever. In principle, you can see such actions, what Ramón mentioned, in the top handball worldwide. Worldwide, that is a worldwide problem.
Yes, correct. And then the next example, we will see example from all the continents, all kind of players or referees or coaches. So please forget that this is not anything against some people in concrete. No, please. No. You know that in the different situations that can happen today, that the provocation or wrong decision from the referees, there are three groups. First, provoking offensive foul that in the real life cannot happen, doesn't happen. Later, provoking 2 minutes punishment against the defender. Just the third group on the limit or over the limit. Just when the player tried to provoke a red card against the opponent, right? They are these three groups.
So we're starting with the first group to provoke offensive fouls, and a typical situation in our entire game is we call it 1 against 2 situations on the outside on the wing positions. You see it here when you look on the right side to the video. You see the center back tries to play a pass to the right back, and the left outside defender is acting in a 1 against 2 situation. You can, in the first picture, you cannot see the right wing, but in the second picture down, you see the wing player. And the situation is very typical here. The right back is coming with high speed, and the outside defender is acting in numerical inferiority, and he tries to attack the backcourt player, and then is the question how he is doing or she is doing this. The next typical situation, also a 1 against 2 situation, is that both defenders, half and outside defenders, switch together and try to make a double block to stop the backcourt player. And here we can also see a lot of different variations how to defend this situation. So for this, we have a video.
Yes, I saw now.
Ramón will show us.
Yes, just to remind that normally when the defender is jumping or is moving forward the attacker, normally this is not the case for offensive foul, right? And then also Dietrich maybe can help us later, because sometimes, okay, our players normally, especially top players, they are too strong. And to pull down one player, this is so difficult. And sometimes they fall down dramatically, like something big things happens, but this is not the real life. We see now in 6 situations in the same video, 2 groups, 3 and 3. The first 3 groups, the first 3 situations are identical, more or less identical. The defender jumping, moving forward the attacker, and then falling down.
Ball out to Vida, not quite perfect, and they recycle it. Stroke.
So here you can see the outside defender is moving forward, push with the shoulder. That is not a good technical criteria for an attacker foul. That is a clear provoking action. The same here, the outside defender is coming from the side, clear from the side.
Exactly. Both actions are in the next one. The defender is moving forward the attacker.
Yes.
And then
yeah,
after the normal contact, the defender fall down on the floor. Also in this now is a critical moment because the score and the time. Right? And then the same situation that in the first two examples. And it's really difficult for the referees to decide, to judge if this is offensive foul or not. Really difficult. But we are working to improve our observation of the facts. In the next three actions, we will see three similar situations, but more easy. Just really is light, soft contact, and then the defender fall down dramatically. No. This is the first one. See.
Yeah, maybe we can say it's more easy for the referees, but also a little bit stupid from the player.
Look again.
To do this. Here. That's a little bit Hollywood.
This is so clear simulation, clear attempt to provoke the offensive foul.
And good to observe, especially for the goal referee.
Also, similar action now.
I think here the intention is more to give a push to the backward player and then also to provoke an attacker foul.
Correct.
Here, very clear.
And finally, this is the last situation. That is not enough contact to fall down. And now look, attention, the decision of the referees. Okay, the referees depends on the situation, on the moment of the match. They decide clear body language, clear information, and they decide direct 2 minutes against the defender player. Excellent decision and excellent information. From my point of view, should be in the first three actions, just not offensive foul and play on, simple. And the last three actions should be some kind of progressive punishment against the defender with clear body language, clear information for all the people in the stadium that that's not possible from the very beginning of the match.
Okay, then we come into the second standard situation that are provoked situations in the backcourt, especially in one-on-one situations. You can see here on the right side an interesting picture row. Now you see that the backcourt player in possession of the ball has a clear chance to go to the goal. It's a breakthrough situation, and the defender is coming from the side and clear to provoke from the side an offensive foul. That is a typical situation in one-on-one situations.
What I have learned from Dietrich, from our coaches, our analysts, is that when there is an open space, there is a gap in defense. The question, we teach to the referees, the question for the referees to observe who is the first player in the position.
Yes, of course.
The attacker or the defender. This is critical, right, Dietrich?
Yeah, sometimes it's critical from the timing, but that is clear. One important observation criteria: who is first to be in a position. In a position and in a position, not running into. Yeah. Okay, we have a video for this.
Yes. Okay, now we will see 8 actions, very similar actions. Don't forget these questions: if the defender is moving forward or not, who is first in the position to close the gap. In some of them, we will need the help of right, wait a moment, sorry for the sounds. At the first, we are in the final match of the last men's world championship. That's the question.
Also a breakthrough between half and outside defender. Big emotions in the hall. That is typical for such situations, especially in the final. But in the slow motion, you can see it very well. The half defender is coming from the side and tries to provoke an offensive foul. Not in a frontal position, not in time in a frontal position, and then falling backwards.
Correct. Then the good decision of the referee is 7
Yes.
meters. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Second one, a little bit similar, not exactly, but in the same way. We'll see now in the repetition.
Yeah, it's not easy for the referees. No?
Yeah, no.
It's a breakthrough against the throwing arm side. The attacker moves with the arm over the head of the defender, but here also,
yeah, exactly.
We need from the defender one step more to close earlier the space.
Correct, exactly.
Then it's okay.
Still, I understand better. Still, the gap is open. Correct.
Yes, yes, of course,
Thank you.
And a little bit more footwork, then it's okay for the defender.
Okay, now this is a little bit different. We can have to decide if the defender is against the attacker or not, from the side or not. Yes. The repetition is a little bit more easy.
Yeah, here it's very clear. The only goal is to provoke, nothing else.
Yes, we see the repetition. That we see. This is the moment how the defender is moving from the side against the attacker. I know this is special for you, Dietrich, because you were there in the African Championship, correct?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, then come on.
Yeah, also, that is a good decision by the Spanish referees. We had a lot of provoked actions in the whole tournament, and both referees try to have a clear line right from the beginning. You'll see we are in the 15th minutes. After this match, both referees said to me, this was the strongest match for them ever. Of course, it was so difficult to hold the line, especially in such situations, to provoke attacker fouls and provoke suspensions. Correct. So this is a real difficult job for referees, also from the psychological side. Also because some matches are also emotional, or the importance of the matches. We talked the first example where in the final of the World Championship. This is worldwide important matches, so not easy. Good. Now we change the continent. We go to Asian Championship. In my opinion, the contact between attacker and defender is not enough for this dramatically fall down of the defender. Yeah. Also here, the idea is at first to provoke and then to do something in a tactical way. Similar action, but this is not enough. And now you see the reaction of the referees is attention, clear body language, please don't do it. And this is yellow card, clear advice, not only for the player, clear information for all the people in the sport hall. Right. Now we are in women's in the World Championship in Kumamoto, and the overreaction of the defender. We are in the second half, 45 minutes. For this kind of action, probably something happened before, and now the decision of the referee is very close. The defender is forward, the attacker moving against the attacker, so never can be offensive foul. And then the decision is so correct at that moment, progressive punishment. Again in Asian Championship. Yes, this was also an action in the center back position. Also, the first idea is to provoke, not to block
Look again.
the movement and to have a good position. You see it here very well. From the side, acting from the side, going forward.
Clear acting, clear simulation. This action, good the referees first the advantage, and then the attacker finishes on the wing. But then later should be some kind of progressive action, progressing punishment against this player. Depends on the match, could be yellow, could be direct 2 minutes. But this kind of action cannot be possible in our handball, right? Okay, Dietrich.
Yeah, maybe you can continue. The next situation is the situations at the goal area line. Also, we have such situations at the 6-meter line. You can show it direct.
Yes, correct.
We can continue.
Okay, then this is the idea. Okay, we see now 2 actions. First, this is here. You see, like this is even no foul, even very light contact. It's nothing to do, and then that's it. So this kind of action, the decision of the referees immediately when they are absolutely sure about the situation, if they have a good point of observation, and then the decision should be clear direct 2 minutes for the defenders. Now we jump again, and then we go to Asian Championship. Look in the position in the pivot zone. From my point of view, Dietrich, they are fighting for the position.
Yes, of course. It's normal body contact. We know this without the ball between defender and pivot, and then this contact the player uses to fall dramatically down. That is also a provoked action. You know which hard contact we have in this area, and that is not possible to do this in this way.
Fully agree.
So that was the first chapter. Now, Ramón, you can make the introduction for the second one.
Yes, and then this is the second group about provocation, when the provocation or simulation or overreaction of the players, what is the consequences? We discussed until now about offensive foul, and now we enter when the idea of the one player is to provoke a punishment, progressive punishment against the opponent. In this case, the next videos we will see some action where sometimes the referees decide wrongly, 2 minutes against the defender when the real life is that nothing happens.
The first video, that is a special situation in the backcourt. A jumping attacker falls backwards to the ground. You see it here on the right side in the picture. We don't know what happened before or after, but that is a typical situation. The question is the contact, and the player in possession of the ball is jumping, and sometimes attackers try to provoke here 2 minutes. Of course, they are falling dramatically down. And the goal is with this exaggerated action to fake at the end the referees, nothing else. It is difficult. It is difficult also to decide and to divide this situation, of course. Don't forget, the IHF had in the past a strong line pushing attackers while jumping. But now we can recognize that the players use a little bit this IHF line.
Yes.
And that makes the job for the referees really difficult.
Yes, correct. In the next video, we have selected for you 6 actions. 6. Again, the first 3 actions, they are more or less similar, like clear exaggeration action, clear overreaction that looks that something important, something big is happening, but this is not the real. And then we will see in the next group of actions. That first, these three actions. First match. It looks like something serious happened. We'll see in the repetition that this looks like a normal.
It's a normal contact
between defender and attacker. Maybe in the same attack, some seconds later.
Now that is the first free throw, and now the situation is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit the same, more dramatically to fall down. It's also a short contact, not a hard push.
It's repetition, slow motion of both actions.
Yeah. And you see also the reaction, a well-known defender in the Spanish team. We know him. He is a little bit laughing. Yes, it is difficult. Yes. But at the end, both teams are doing this.
Of course.
I spoke with several coaches about this situation, and they told me, even such here, what you see here now, even if it is hurt, if it is hard to fall on the ground, doesn't matter. The main goal is to provoke a 2-minute suspension.
Okay. Now we jump a little and go to African Championship.
Yeah. Also, same. Short push.
That's very normal foul from the defender.
But a good explanation from the referees.
Yes, exactly. Nice. Normal foul, and then and the referees at least they show to the player that that's not possible. Next time he will receive a progressive punishment. And now the last two situations, more or less the same, but attention, because we have a added difficulty. This is the time.
Yes, look to the time and to the result.
The result, yes. Right.
And here's the same. Also, this typical when the backcourt player holds the ball. And when you have a look in the slow motion, really early, he is looking not to the goal. The intention is not to go direct to the goal. Holds the ball and then falling down. Here you see it.
Right.
Yeah, difficult for the referees.
Also.
Here it's a little bit more easier.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Normal contact from my side, normal contact, just simple free throw. And then the last one, this is
the
last men's world championship. We'll see in the repetition, excellent field refereeing, clear advice for the attacker, because now you can see a small foul from the defender and now the overreaction of the attacker, trying to provoke a punishment for the defender. All right. Good. Then Dietrich.
Okay, we are coming to the second situation to provoke 2 minutes suspension.
And that in the face, something in the face, no? I remember.
Yes, of course. To pretend to be hit in the face. Also, this is only a picture. I don't know what happened before, but you see in at least no contact, only short contact, maybe with the right hand, and something happened, and to do something with the head. The problem is the attacker You will see it here in the examples in the video. The attacker pulls his head backwards with, and sometimes without any contact, or with, let me say, with a small contact. And this is often also supported that the attacker falls down dramatically. And both behaviors have the goal to provoke the referee's decision. And also have a look to the scenes. The goal is also to fake high intensity in this situation. That is, that the referees have the feeling, oh, something strong happened. And that is also a problem.
Just let me to add that normally all the players try to respect each other, right? Yeah. And they know that when they touch the face, the head of the opponent, they know that they are guilty. They accept immediately the 2 minutes, not the 2 minutes. And normally they say, sorry, my friend, and they go out. Normally, this is the normal behavior. I like when the player respect the decision of the referee. A player understand that, sorry, it was my mistake. I'm not talking with the red cards possible. We discuss a little bit later. And then, please, it's not allowed that any player can use this kind of situation to provoke direct 2 minutes against the opponent when really nothing happens, when really no contact with the face, right? That's the idea. We'll see 4 actions first in this match.
Yeah, the first decision by the referees is attacker fall. Then they go together and discuss the situation. And then they decided 2 minutes against the defender. And they showed the defender hits into the face of the attacker. Looked in a slow motion.
Exactly.
And this is the movement I explained to you to pull back the face in the back to provoke this situation, this decision.
Exactly. I think this is an image, this action and the next action that you can see now, really negative for our sport. Negative for our sport. And create I don't know, Dietrich, if you've seen the same, that they create a negative atmosphere in the match.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that is a big problem.
Between the teams and with the referees in the middle. And then this is so difficult to control these situations.
Yeah, not only between the teams and the players and referees, also the spectators. They are emotional against one player, against one team, and the emotions are rising up. And that is not good for us.
Also against the referees, because the mistake of the decision, and then at the end, the image of the match is not good, right? Yeah. Okay, then we continue. Similar action. The next 3 examples.
Yeah, similar situation. Here you see it very clear. Yeah. Okay, it's a contact.
Yes, normal foul, free throw.
Exaggerated action, clear. And pull back the head to provoke
second action,
a strong hit.
The same match, second action in the same match.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the last situation in this match, you don't know it, you will see.
This is unbelievable.
Could be some kind of contact with the defender against the attacker.
Yes, of course.
Be, maybe some light touching in the face, could be. Why not? But this kind of reaction, so negative.
We have a contact sport that is clear. Sometimes the contact is also hard, but it's not necessary to make this. It is a Hollywood action and not nice. Here you see it. Okay, with the right hand, he was maybe slightly touched the face, could be, but then this reaction. And then you can believe what does it mean for the whole atmosphere in the game.
Okay, I hope it's enough clear.
So let us go forward. So that was actions to hit into the face of an opponent. The next video scenes, we will show you a different action that is very often, you can see it very often in crossings when the attackers are moving very quickly in running motions. And also here, the goal is a little bit to feign high intensity when they are falling dramatically down on the ground. Pretend to be pushed very hard. That is the next topic of our video.
Correct. We see here now five actions with this target to provoke direct 2 minutes against the defender.
Yeah, that was the situation. He was parallel to the 9-meter line. Sure, a contact, yes, but not a hard contact. And the referee decided 2 minutes.
That's for our opinion, it's not enough for that 2 minutes. It's clear overreaction, right? We go with the next one. This match, very similar to the first video that we offer you at the opening of the seminar. This is the situation.
Yeah. Sure contact, but immediately the attacker falls dramatically down.
Yeah. Here, I come back a little bit just to show you our first question. Who is the best to observe this action? Again, the coach. Again, the coach. So now you understand how, I repeat to you, for all of you, sometimes, in some moments, in our top referees, the field referee, instead of to be here, he's here, more or less in this position, or just on the other side. Why? Because I have a problem. I have, for example, here, 3 white players, 3 green players. And then from this position, it's difficult for me to see something, but from close to the coach, I can observe much more better.
Ramón, yes. The situation is also really good. We know from our really top referees that they change their position play, especially the field referee. The field referee in today's handball is really closer to the situation. He is now 13, 14 meters away. And that is the experience from our coming from our top referees, to be more closer, to have a view more diagonal into the defense. That's the new positional play of especially our field referees.
That's the question. No static position, constantly moving. The position depends of the tactics in the attack and in defense. Just to be on time and in the best moment and in the best place in each moment. It's difficult, yes, but we must do it. And we will see our test with 3 referees. If they are better or not for the future of handball, right? Okay, next. It's very identical to the first action, Brazil-Croatia. Now this situation. Absolutely normal free throw.
Yeah.
No more.
Nothing.
Now, again, we go to the final of the World Championship.
You know this backcourt player, he's very strong, a really excellent player.
Unfortunately, the referees have enough experience to detect this situation.
He's able to,
because there is no contact with the face, no contact with the head.
Yeah. And he also falls down very quickly. You see it here.
Exactly. And
not necessary. He's a strong player. It's not necessary.
And now this special action.
Oh.
I think maybe Dietrich can help me because it looks really well trained action.
Yes, of course. And it's difficult to observe. It's difficult to observe. You can see it only in the slow motion very well. Now you see it here.
Exactly. That's
coming a little bit from wrestling or whatever. This idea, unbelievable fake against the referees.
Yeah, but really difficult to see and to observe and to take a decision for the referees.
Yeah. The question is, if such actions develop, then sure we will have a problem in our game, especially the job of the referees is more and more difficult. Maybe you can continue with the last video clip in the second part to provoke 2-minute suspensions in the pivot area, in the pivot zone.
Okay, I offer the
continue immediately.
I saw the video immediately. The next video, yes. We'll see now 4 actions. First group of 3 actions, very similar. Clear overreaction of the pivot, because this is not enough. I think not enough to fall down in such a way.
Don't forget, on the pivot position today, especially in the men's handball, we have strong pivots, more than 100 kilo, well trained.
So totally,
he can hold pushes.
Totally opposite to my body, no? You say,
yes, of course.
I understand. Yeah. Then this is clear.
Yeah.
No. Now there's the same identical situation, fighting for the position.
Yeah. Normal fight.
Yes, normal fight. Advantage, good. And now suddenly this situation.
Yeah.
And now unfortunately the referee said the attacker, please don't do it anything more.
Yeah.
Also the same basis is a little bit special.
Yeah, there's also a pivot with maybe more than 100 kilo. Also, suddenly he falls down dramatically.
Yeah.
That's the same.
I think that to pull down him, you need really
a
lot of strength. Really difficult for the referees. This situation. And the last one, this is a little bit special. Maybe this is in combination with the last video, the last action, when the pivot provoke the fall down the attacker. Look, because this is a last tendency in men's and in women's, and unfortunately also we see this situation every day more and more in youth and in junior competitions, right? The repetition is so nice to see the action of the attacker.
Now you can see it here very well. Yes. Normally, the goal referee must be able to observe the situation, but also it is important that he also acts in a diagonal position. I think it is a good position to see this. That is now also a tendency, rising up.
What we are working with the referees is that pay attention, please, because today these strong players, men and women, they need only one hand to catch the ball. But this is not the problem, this hand. The problem is the second one. The both must be in cooperation, teamwork, to control what happened with the second arm, second hand of the player. In this case, it's clear. Should be offensive foul and progressive punishment against the attacker from the very beginning. If the action is so clear, like this one, right? So Dietrich.
So then
Maybe
we
you
continue,
can,
and
you
we
display...
are coming to the third part in the chapter for standard situations.
That's a very bad. Okay, this third part, that is, I thought to you, this is the over limit situation. When this kind of actions, provocation, simulation, overreaction, exaggeration, inventing situation, provoke a red card against the opponent. This is over the limit. Because it could be a clear influence, it could be one player must be out for the rest of the match. It's clear influence, maybe in the, or could be, or for sure, in the final result of the match. So really in IHF we are worried in general about this situation, but especially worried about these critical actions, right?
Okay, we will show you now four different scenes. We can go quickly through, and then we can have a look to the videos in a row. You see the first situation that the attacker tries to pretend to be hit hard into the face. You see here this situation. The second situation is in a pivot zone. Here a player or the situation totally without the ball. Defender is pretend to be hit hard into the stomach. You see it here with a yellow circle.
Mm-hmm.
The next is pretend to be hit hard into the face, and you see it here. The referee showed the red card. At the end, it is a wrong decision. And the fourth scene is similar what we have seen before. Attacker here, left back, wins a duel against a half defender, and you see from the left side the next defender is coming to close the gap, and then also have a look what happened in this situation. This is a typical situation.
Okay, then I offer you the 4 videos. Good. Then see the first situation.
So referee discuss the situation, and then look what happened now. Ramón, that you must explain.
Yes, I think the first part could be now that there is some contact with the face.
Yeah,
a
slight touch is possible.
Touching. That's what we, and this is for 2 minutes. But the overreaction is not good because it's not on purpose. This is the defender is trying fighting for the ball, so it could be I touch your face, but okay, sorry, but it's not for this kind of reaction. This is the first part, but the second part is okay. The referee offer his hand.
Yes,
we are in the same sport, all of us. We have different targets to win the match or to take care about the rules. Many people also outside of the match have another duties, but we are in the same sport. We are fair people. In general, we are fair people. If I give you my hand, please shake my hand. Come on. We are the same. So it was not even in the moments that in some moments when the player is angry. Come on. We are exactly in the same match. So please, come on. I don't like this kind of situations, right?
Okay, the next situation is at the 6-meter line. The second video.
Yes, wait a moment. I prepare it. I share the screen again. Yes. Now it's here.
So look to the 6-meter line. You will see it also in a better angle from above. It's a typical duel, defender pivot, and then suddenly he falls down.
Because normally there are pivot and the defenders and attackers, they are in close contact permanently. Correct. And then, please, it looks like something dramatic happens, but you can see from this that really absolutely nothing, just close contact between both. And
such behavior is very negative for the whole atmosphere. So you must avoid this direct from the beginning. Otherwise, the referees have no chance.
Exactly. So I got again that, sorry.
Then the third situation.
Yes, this is the third situation.
Also a situation where a player pretend to be hit hard in the face.
Now we are in a Champions League match in Portugal and Veszprém. And we will see in the repetition similar situation. The referee saw the red card to the defender, but this was not the real life, unfortunately. So it should be a normal foul, Dietrich.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's difficult to observe. Also here you can see a lot of players around the situation. So again, the positional play, the movements of the referee is really important to have a chance to see exact what happened.
Yeah. So I go again with the last.
So the last scene.
The last scene.
That is a similar situation. The left back wins a one-on-one action and go inside, and the next inside defender tries to block the gap, and then we have a contact.
You see, it looks like something serious happened against the head, against the face of the attacker. But in the repetition, you see that the contact is in the chest, in the shoulder.
Yeah, it's a
normal
clear
contact here, chest, shoulder, between chest and shoulder. Normal contact, even not for 2 minutes, even just only for just free throw. Look again on this position. Look here, absolutely.
Also, exaggerated action, very clear. Pull back his head and falling down.
Normal foul, correct. So then, you can show the.
Yeah, I will continue. Here you see the situation again, very clear. This is a standard situation, and that is also the reason that we are working with the referees also in a tactical way. This happens in a 6-0. How the 6-0 acts in such situations. When left back or right back wins a duel, what is the behavior of the inside defender? So that is also one reason that we continue to develop the tactical education of our top referees, and we are doing this in every tournament since long years now.
Yeah.
So now we want to explain a little bit the IHF guidelines for such actions, and sure, this Ramón, you must do this.
Yes, of course. No, it's a summary of our comments in the last hour. The question is for the referees first to work outside the match, before the match, to see many handball in all the world. Second, to understand more about handball, what means real contact, real foul, or not normal contact, not normal foul that deserve a punishment. Third, to do something from the very beginning in the match, to do something from the very beginning of the match. Something means, depending on the situation, could be directly progressive punishment against the responsible, the players, or just to show a clear advices and body language and information. But in any case, consistent progressive punishment should be when the some of the situation happens in a match. Second, and then clear information. We have seen some nice examples in the last videos. Clear body language for everyone, not private normally. Private is nothing. Private is between you and me. No. Every one of these situations could be some examples and some exceptions sometimes, but in general should be clear information for all the audience in the sport hall or over there by TV or by videos for all the actors, other referees, players and coaches. And of course, again, preventive decision as soon as possible in the match, because the referees, they know if we wait for solution, the solution never comes alone, never. So this is the general guidelines for the referees, and I hope all of you, all the players and coaches, I hope you understand.
Yeah, then of course the problems rising up in the last years. We discussed it, what we can do, and this is a new proposal is coming for the next international IHF events. Also, Ramón, you must explain this.
Yes, in this limit situation, the last 4 or 5 videos we can show you that you see that the decision of the referees was a wrong red card against a player because of the clear simulation or Hollywood action or something, and this can take clear influence in the final score of the match, and we prefer that never can happen. And then the regulation, IHF new regulation, is that in these cases, when the official of the match can to see the action, and then later in the video, the official of the match, IHF official must send a report to the competition management. The competition management receive the report, analyze the situation, and send another report to the disciplinary commission, and then the disciplinary commission take a decision. Finish. The decision should be, in these cases, for example, should be at least 1 match punishment later in the next match. This player cannot be played. This is not new, really, because we have the example of the football English Premier League. During many, the behavior of the football players in the Premier League. They hate each other. They fight against each other, even between teammates. When some of the players in football, they make a diving inside the goal area, trying to provoke a penalty, right? And then in the past, during some years, in England Football Association, they create a special commission that after the matches, they had the right to punish these players with 1 match or more. In the last 2 years, this is not necessary, because this case of provocation, penalty, or diving is one of the cases that the referees are allowed to go to see the video, the video assistant referees. And then they don't need the commission later, because the referees take a decision just during the match. So I hope that in the future we cannot follow. We don't need. I hope in the future we don't need to do the same.
Okay, so then we are coming to our last part, and at first finally we want to show you scenes from only 1 match, and have a look what happened in 1 match. Is not important which match, which teams, which players, only follow the situations. We will not make a comment, but we will ask you again at the end, is this a part of our game?
So this would be the last video of the match, or this presentation, and as Dietrich told you, this is something about a summary of the problematic of the world, and then no comments after the video, no comments from our side. It's the same match.
التقدم. البحرين يحاول أن يعود والمباراة في دقيقتين من أجل لتصنع انه يوهم الحكم انه الخطأ لصالح لاعب البحريني علي ميرزا. دقيقتين مصاب في دقيقتين لعلي ميرزا. البحرين فيها عقوبة ما في من الخلف. دقيقتين صح للاعب خطير. منو اللي طلع الان؟ لاعب علاء بن راشد. افتكرت اللاعب فرانكس. علاء بن راشد. شوف هذه ما فيها الحين. هذه على طول دقيقتين من الخلف سحب. واحد يقول اللي طاح مو كنا اللي طلع اخوه. هذا اللي طلع علي ميرزا وشقيقه محمد ميرزا. محمد ميرزا شوفه. السلاطنة سجل والنتيجة 6-4. والكرة مع المنتخب القطري. رمية حرة. وقف المباراة. حديث الحكمين. انذار. كرة مع البحرين. وين رايح الصياد؟ يحاول الصياد. انما حسن مبروك قدامه بقوة. حسن مبروك يلعب دفاع متماسك. في دقيقتين لحسن مبروك. صياد على الارض. هذا ميرزا. شوف الروح. شوف كل مبتسم. ابتسامة وحديث ولا زعل ولا شيء. في دفع من حسن مبروك. ما هو قرار الحكم راح نشوف. صياد احد نجوم كرة اليد البحرينية. الأعمدة الأساسية. تاريخ كبير. في دقيقتين لحسن مبروك. دقيقتين إيقاف. دقيقتين وسيلعب منتخب القطري ناقص لاعب والمنتخب البحريني كامل. شوف الصياد عطى دقيقتين يا حسين يا الصياد. خلاص دقيقتين وما فيك الا العافيه. خبره هذا اللاعب. حتى الان البحرين مرتبك وقطر تهاجم. تمريره عادت لقطر. حتى الان ارتباك بحريني. في دقيقتين للبحريني. احمد المقابي احد النجوم المميزه. المقابي عليك مهمه كبيره. اشاره واضحه لانه تفاعل انه في دخول خاطئ. شوف فانه متعمد اللعب فاعطاه.
Dietrich.
So yeah, you could saw the life of the referee is sometimes really hard. you have seen it. And the big question is, do we really want to see matches like these? So as a summary, at first, we have to point it out, techniques of deciding referees are getting better and better. That is a clear tendency we have to recognize.
And also that this kind of unsportsmanlike conduct, like
Yes.
this example, during all our seminar, it looks like they are performed by specialists, well trained.
In a lot of situations, it's really difficult to distinguish between real and fake actions. And sure, the positional play of the referees is crucial, but if it is not possible to avoid this in the future, what can we do? You remember, we come back in 1 week about the discussion to use in the future 3 referees.
Exactly. That we know that, especially in top matches, the decision of the referees are not easy. The work of the referee is not easy. But if we create more problems, we will have more mistakes, and then at the end, the atmosphere will be really, really negative for all the people in the match, right?
Yes, and yeah, at the end, such fake actions can have a big influence, a big impact on the atmosphere in the hall. We mentioned this, and that is maybe also sometimes not so good for sport. Yeah, what is necessary to discuss? At first, it is maybe the first question, what is our game philosophy? That is a question more for the coaches. Is this a part of our game philosophy? That every coach has to think about this and to decide what is his line in such topics.
The next question is really how do we want to present our sport, our handball worldwide? Because now the last big image of handball was in the Olympic Games in Rio. Excellent. So a lot of people from far away of handball were really positive surprised about our sport. So this is our target. Clear and nice, spectacular, clear the best tactics in the future, and of course to avoid also these negative examples.
Yeah. And the next question is, such actions, is this good for our youngsters, for our young generation? As you know, young players learn quickly, also from bad behaviors. I think that is not a good signal from our best players, from our top players. They have also a responsibility for this.
And finally, that we think that all the people involved in handball, all the actors, all the parties, all players, coaches, referees, also with people that we have responsibilities outside of the field. We are the responsible to offer the most attractive possible image of handball. If not in the future, if we don't show clear, attractive handball, with a lot of sport today, a lot of sport, even new sport in Olympic Games, a lot of offers, and then we will have no children in the future, no girls and no kids, and then we have no children, we have no future.
Yeah, at the end, all parties are responsible. That is our main result. Referees, coaches, players, also the federations, the continental federations, the international handball federations, the member federations have to discuss this, and they need a position for this. I think handball has worldwide a really good image. We know this from our top events. I remember in Rio, we had so good feedback for the quality of our sport. Our sport is fast. Our sport, okay, is hard in body contact, but that is a special criteria of our sport, and we can sell this in a good way. Also, we have a lot of actions in a very short time when you compare to other sports. But do we need such actions like this? When you look to the right side to the picture, I think that this is a good picture of our sport. Fighting for the ball, actions like these make our sport attractive. And this we have to discuss. All parties have to discuss this.
Yes, correct. Fully agree, especially with your last comments about the photo. The photo is so nice. Two players, emotional moment, and fighting for the ball. That's this idea. The referee notes, for example, that when a player is fighting for the ball, he must receive a premium. You understand what it means. But when a player is not fighting for the ball, is fighting for another part of the body of the opponent, he must receive a punishment. This is the main idea.
So, Ramón, we are in a good time. Thank you for your attention, and we are waiting for your questions or additional suggestions, whatever.
Yes, of course.
Okay, we have a few questions. A couple about the video referee technology we use. People want to know, would it be good to use this for these situations? And if you think yes or no, can you explain a bit why?
You know, the question, you use the video, for example, in the next World Championship in Egypt, we will use the video, but some specific situations, of course, to help the referees when, for example, something happens outside the view of the referees, something like that, right? But also we must take care with not to provoke many interruptions in the match. Our match today with some rules like fast throw off or the injured player rule, not cleaning, for example, no cleaning, and then no unnecessary timeouts mean that just a few interruptions in the match, and then we can offer the spectators high rhythm, high speed, 60 minutes. This is absolutely different than the rest of team sports. Handball is absolutely different. Spectators cannot have no time to close their eyes 1 second. And then also we must take care not to use the video replay too many times. So first we will try to work with the referees. We try to send clear messages to players and coaches to avoid the situation. If no success, we will see in the future. At the moment, no, this is not a case for video proof.
Dietrich, do you have anything to add from maybe a kind of coaching perspective? If you know what the teams think about this, what would they prefer? More interruptions to make sure?
No, I don't think so. You know, we have a special character of our game, and this is from the basis really good. And our guidelines, our thinking is to avoid interruptions, to have quick transitions between attack and defense. That's in the moment our philosophy, and I think the coaches are thinking in the same way. And this is a good picture also that we have a different structure to other sports. And I think we are that is our main goal. We will explain it next week when we present some ideas to develop our game and some rules. One guideline is always less interruptions, avoid interruptions.
Yes, in last January, Dietrich and myself, we were in the championship in Africa and Asia. Also, our colleagues in America, we have meetings with the coaches of all the teams. We discuss many topics, and this is a critical moment. High rhythm of the match, less interruption. For example, they agree absolutely that after a goal, don't stop the match for a yellow card just for small things. For example, so less interruption and high rhythm, high speed in the match.
And that means that we just need to limit the number of times that we would use video. Limit the situation, as we already do. We have a few more specific questions. Someone asked about penalties if there is a foul committed against the attacker, but also the attacker overreacts. Can you talk about how? I think it's possible to punish both, but can we talk about this a bit?
And normally in this case, yes. Okay, first case, for example, this happens. There is a foul, and then the attacker overreact. I think the defender must receive a punishment because this is a foul. Okay, and then this is a clear message for the attacker. Please don't do it anything more in the match. Correct? First time. If this situation is repeated and repeated, of course, also he is guilty and he must receive some kind of punishment. But normally, when the attacker receives a clear advice, and then he tried that don't repeat anymore in the match.
And it is very, very important to do it right from the beginning. Yeah. If you start with this in the second half, it is much too late. Yeah, much too late. Yeah, correct. You have to use the first situation when you observe this as a referee, to use this and give a clear signal, a clear information.
It's one thing that I've noticed a bit of the theme over all the presentations we've had from referees and Ramón. People seem to have some hesitation to punish attackers or to apply the rules as much to attackers. Do you have something to say about this, Ramón, about just that people should?
No, just listen. It's clear. The rules, this book is written for all the players, defenders and attackers. It's clear. The rules are the same for players and attackers. Okay, normally in defense, the defenders are more guilty about pushing or catching or holding. But if the same foul is committed by the attacker, he must receive the same punishment from the referee. Could be offensive foul, and depends on the offensive foul. For example, could be also yellow card or 2 minutes. Remind this example that we offer you when the pivot catches the t-shirt of the defender. Imagine that this is the opposite. The defender is guilty to make a long holding of the t-shirt of the pivot. Immediately the referees decide yellow or 2 minutes, depends on the moment of the match. So this is the same, should be offensive foul plus yellow or 2 minutes.
Yeah, and this is a clear tendency. I know it from a lot of discussion with the coaches in the big tournaments. This is also the opinion from the coaches to focus more also to the behavior of the attackers. Correct. In different situations. That is a clear tendency. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a bit more specific. This is one of the last questions we've received so far, is just when a wing is shooting from a very small angle and they hook the arm or something to try and draw a penalty. What is the what do you recommend as the punishment in this situation? It's a bit difficult without seeing an exact situation, but generally.
Yeah, I think that okay, it's difficult what you say this question. But imagine that if the defender position is in correct position, the defender is in correct position, not moving, not jumping against the attacker, and then the attacker is responsible not to touch, not to hit the defender with the open arm. Different is the defender still is moving against the attacker. But it's not easy question, but sometimes, but only a few times, not maybe in the past more Dietrich, but I think that today I'm not seeing many situations where the attacker is provoking the contact.
We had this some years ago. That was a tendency some years ago. That we had some specialists on the wing positions. They tried to provoke 7 meter and 2 minutes. Very often you could saw that they don't have an idea to shoot, to go for a shooting action, only to provoke this. But I think this is now a little bit away, especially in the top handball. I think that was a good education also for the referees, and today this is not so a big problem.
Correct.
Someone asked about at the beginning of the match, if you're the referee, how to show the players that you don't accept these overreactions. I think they're more asking about if you should say something verbally, but can you talk about, especially the opening of the match, how you would suggest handling this?
We have seen in some videos some nice examples. If some of our spectators come back again to see this presentation, this seminar, when is reading the education center, you can see some actions with some situation where the referee shows something like don't do it, but should be something good body language, but that's not talking, because talking is only private. Just for this, for all the audience. Also, sometimes the referees must be good actors, not Jim Carrey or something. That's good actor like Al Pacino or something like that. To explain clearly, to repeat what was the action, why I decide now 2 minutes, for example, why I decide red card. This is a very, very important information for all the players.
And they have to use it right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, otherwise the problems are rising up.
Okay, the last question is not actually about this topic of the lecture, but we'll ask since we have 2 minutes left. This person asked, is it true that you should avoid giving punishments to coaches in the last 5 minutes of the second half?
No. This is not the question. The question is that in the last moments of the match, any decision against the bench, against the coach or second coach, is that should be absolutely necessary and clear, not because of a small thing.
Yes.
Because imagine some of the action we have seen in top. Imagine the final of the World Championship or final Olympic final, where if the score is so close, and then emotions, then I think in that moment the referees must be absolutely focused in the match, and the word of the IHF delegates must be to help and to control the situation, but only to take decision if it's really, really necessary. If not, better to avoid.
And that's a clear guideline from the IHF side.
But
I know this is a discussion by a lot of coaches. I know this, but that is a clear guideline.
But not exactly the question like someone asked to you. No, this is not the question. Just to be clever, a little bit clever.
Yes.
Yes, and just so everyone knows that there are a lot of materials related to these topics that Dietrich and Ramón have been talking about for many years on the Education Center, but also on the IHF website. You have all the rules and regulations and a big section on this, so you can familiarize yourself with all the details there as well. I think we'll have to end there. Thank you so much, Dietrich and Ramón.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to everyone who joined us. We have another lecture coming up at 3 o'clock Central European Summer Time in 30 minutes. That is with IHF lecturer Oh Seong-ok. She is also the head coach of the women's youth national team for the Republic of Korea and a former top player herself. So I hope that we will see you all again then. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, friends. Bye.